Hello, I'm Mario Toneguzzi, Managing Editor of Canada's Entrepreneur. Joining me today on Calgary's podcast is Christine Buer, who is former owner of Shakers in Calgary and now on new venture in the fitness space called FS8. Thanks for joining us, Christine,
Oh,
today
welcome. Yeah, awesome. Thanks for having me, Mario. This is great.
about this new venture, FS8. First of all, what does that stand for? And tell me what it is.
Sure. So FS8 stands for Functional Strength 8. And the 8 is for 8 different modalities. Don't ask me to list them off the top of my head because I'm not going to remember right now, but it's really about incorporating strengthening, mobility, stretching, and weight training within one workout. So FS8 combines a little bit of yoga, a little bit of toning, and a little bit of Pilates reformer workout into one combination so that you kind of touch on all the different modalities as you're going through your workout.
Now, I'm assuming this is a franchise model.
Sure, it is. Yeah. So it's a franchise that originally started in Australia about 5 years ago. They've recently moved their head office into Austin about the past year. We've started to expand the brand globally. So currently, we're opening up a location in Calgary. It will be open July 12th, and it will be the second location in Canada, the first in Western Canada.
Okay, tell me just a little bit about the reasons behind, we'll get into your history, but I
Sure.
wanted to talk about, a little bit of why you got into this, why this particular venture.
Sure. Yeah. So I had sold my last business at the beginning of the pandemic, coincidentally, and I was kind of exploring what my different options might be as an entrepreneur. Where was I going to go? And I got really into biohacking and weight training. And I ended up injuring myself during that period of time. And so I knew I needed to incorporate a different type of modality. So I looked to Pilates to be that solution for myself. So I got really into Pilates in Calgary. And as the business owner and entrepreneur I am, I was like, man, this is such a great, like, we need some product like this. And FS8 just kind of came across my view. And I went down to Austin. I learned more about the business behind it. So it's actually a conglomerate, or it's owned by F45, the other training company that we have a few of them in Calgary. And I really fell in love with the leadership and the brand and where they were taking it. So I saw an opportunity for myself as an entrepreneur. So I asked if I could bring it back to Calgary and expand the brand here in Alberta.
Okay, how important is it, like, when it comes to the whole franchise model? It's an idea that seems to be growing crazy, right? These days, whether it's fitness,
Yeah.
whether it's food, et cetera. Why does it work?
Yeah. So for this particular model, it works really well because, I mean, it can work really well. Let's put it that way. So it depends how you are as an entrepreneur. For me, what I love about it is they've come to the table with a really polished, professional brand. The workouts that we do are all created by our head office, by certified Pilates instructors, movement coaches, doctors, physiotherapists, to ensure that we are creating a product that works really well for everybody's body. And that's one thing that was really important to me because there's a lot of people out there that are creating different types of programs and are suggesting that you do different things, but it might not be the best thing for your body at that time. So we've created a program that is adaptable to where you are right now, so that you can either do it as it is, we can make it easier for you, or we can make it more difficult for you. So you're always getting that nice, energized, best body workout. As far as the franchise goes, I love the fact that they supply a lot of the marketing materials. They provide guidance on how to run your business effectively, and they bring a really nice polished brand to the table, which already gives you leverage into the community to show up as a professional brand and get the excitement behind what you're doing because they've already created it in other places in the world.
Yeah, let's backtrack for a second here, Christine, and talk about your former business and
Sure.
tell folks just about Shakers and a little bit about Shakers and then what happened.
Sure. So, gosh, back in the day, I had, gosh, this was 20 years ago now. I just had a child and was looking around Calgary and I'm like, what am I going to do with my child in Calgary? And there really weren't many options back then. And so I came across a concept called a family entertainment center, and they were growing big in the United States. And I went down there and learned a lot about family entertainment. And I said, Calgary needs this. So back in 2004, my family and myself, we started a business here called Shaker's Family Fun Center. And so it was a 7 acre park where we had multiple attractions from bowling to go-karts, mini golf, laser tag. We had arcade games. We hosted parties from 10 people all the way up to 2,000 people, so big corporate events. And so that was really my first introduction myself as an entrepreneur. I had tons of background with my parents from other ventures that they've been involved in. I think I was born into the entrepreneurial culture, and there's no other way I could live my life at this point. But Shakers was great. We started that back in 2006, and we closed it down right at the beginning of the pandemic and got really, really lucky and were able to get out of that business because we would have been shut down probably for about a year and a half with COVID rolling in.
So tell me, what do you think you learned through the Shakers experience that's helpful for what you're doing now?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say the biggest takeaway I have is just learning how to manage and deal with people. Because people are really the force behind your business, building that culture and making it super strong, and treating your staff like they're a client as well. So, all of my staff are super important to me. I want to know what's going on in their lives. I want to know what I can do to be elevating their experience while they're working for me, and I can be helping them turn into little leaders within, my business, so that they can take these skills and become better people out in the world.
Okay, now you mentioned the kind of entrepreneurial background from the family. Tell me a little bit more about that and
Sure.
who your parents involved with.
Yeah, so my father was a car dealership guy. So he opened up a Ford dealership in Edmonton back in 82 during the whole hub oil crisis, which if you can go back that far, if you're old enough to understand that, it was a really difficult time in retail and in financing. So he really struggled through that business. But as a young girl, I got to watch him create a business, go through the struggles of it, and kind of understand that just because you open something doesn't mean it's going to work. And so I saw a lot of failure, but in that failure, there were tons of lessons. My mother, she was a cosmetic guru. So she used to have home cosmetic parties where she'd bring women in, they'd sit at the table, they'd do facials, put on makeup, and she was teaching people how to feel better about themselves and their own skin. Eventually, my mother got involved in the Body Shop, so the hair and skincare company. And we had the franchise for Alberta and Calgary. And I'd say I was about 14 at the time when that I was involved in that. And that's really where my roots set in for entrepreneurship. So the Body Shop has an amazing background of being very ethical, being very people forward, giving back to the world. And so that's really where everything set in for me as an entrepreneur. And I said, okay, these are the values that I have to take forward in any business that I create and make sure that we're giving back and we're doing or having a positive effect on the people around us.
Hmm. What do you think you learned from your parents about business, about being an entrepreneur?
Yeah, I think really it's about grit. It's just you have to kind of let things roll off your back because every day you're going to come up against a situation which is going to feel challenging and difficult to get through, and you just have to know that's part of the journey. And every time you just you solve a problem and you get to the next level, it's rewarding and it keeps pushing yourself forward and your business forward.
Hmm. Now, let's take a look at specifically operating a business in Calgary and in Alberta in general. What would you say the main benefits are for operating a business here?
Yeah, I mean, Calgary is a great city, not only to live in, but to also do business in. It's very entrepreneurial. There's a lot of people that have great ideas. I think with our oil and gas base, it also provides a significant amount of wealth in the city. So people are willing to go out and try different things and be more entrepreneurial because they have some support in doing that. Um, the city is actually, in my opinion, becoming very multicultural. We see lots of different ethnics and origins within the city, which is really great. Allows us to experience different things and see different cultures in action. And I think that we are a progressive city, and so um, we're starting to see lots of new ventures and new ideas coming to the city, so we get to experience some new things.
Hmm. Yeah, exactly. Um, Today, what do you think are the biggest challenges an entrepreneur faces, considering everything is going on right now with tariffs and with the economy and all that type of stuff?
Well, I think. Challenges. I'm not sure it ever changes. I mean, I think everything goes in cycles. Things go up and down constantly. That's always how they work. If you enter at a low cycle and it's difficult, then you probably will do a better job of growing your business because you've had to work harder to get it there, right? Than if you come in and during a heyday and customers are just flocking to you because everything is good. I think that, I mean, we're always faced with different policy currently. That can be a little bit challenging within Canada in general. But I still think that Calgary offers a great environment to become entrepreneurial, and there still can be a lot of success to be found within the city.
Now, one of the things that I'm always amazed at is the number of businesses, new businesses that pop up. And especially when it comes now to certain industries, the food, quick service industry, there's so many, so many
Yeah, a
places.
ton.
Fitness is the same way. And I'm curious from your standpoint, like, what is the key? What is the key to success here in an environment that can increasingly gets more and more competitive?
Sure. I think that it's all about your community. So you're right. There are a lot of different types of fitness things that you can be involved in the city, certainly. But it's about, in my mind, it's creating your third spot almost. This is what I call it. So your first spot is home. Your second spot is you go to work. But if we can be your third spot, so your place where you come, you get your physical exercise. So something that's really important for your body. You're around a community of people that are all trying to build and do the same thing. And it's a beautiful place to come. It's inviting, and you get to see some of your friends and work out with some of your friends while you're there. I think that's what's really important with fitness and community.
Hmm. Now, if you had a young person come up to you and say, I want to be an entrepreneur, what would you tell them? What advice would you give
Yeah, I mean, really go for it. Don't dip your toe in the water. If you are choosing to travel down that path, no, number one, it's going to be a journey for sure. There's going to be a lot of ups and downs, but there's always a solution. So never think that you're going to get stuck without finding a solution. Build a group of mentors around yourself to help you if you get stuck. And focus on networking and connecting within the city so that you know the right people. So when an opportunity comes up, you know who to reach out to, or if you run into a challenge, you also know how to run into and who can help you solve those challenges.
them? Now, we know that being an entrepreneur is quite busy. You're always either working or your mind is working
Sure.
on the business. What do you do? I guess to get away from that and have quote unquote balance in your life.
I don't know that balance exists. But I mean, I do enjoy some activities. I mean, we're in one of those beautiful areas of the world. The mountains are our playground, honestly. So it took me a long time to recognize that and appreciate that. So I love getting out to those areas and doing some hiking and walking. I personally am still into weight training, so I enjoy bodybuilding and going to the gym. And really, I love business, the idea of business itself. I've been part of an organization called Entrepreneurs Organization for 16 years now. And part of that is seeing different speakers, constantly growing my leadership skills, learning new things, volunteering within the organization so that I can grow myself and be a better business owner.
Interesting you brought that up. I'm just curious of how important is it to be tied into some sort of network of like-minded people when it comes to business?
Yeah, for me, and I think for a lot of people within the organization, they'd say it's critical to help your growth and your success. I joined back when I had Shakers because I mean, imagine I had 80, 15 to 20-year-olds working for me and no other leadership at the top to support me. And so I was kind of pulling my hair out going, I don't know what to do. How do I set my business up for success? So by joining Entrepreneurs Organization, I was able to get into what we call a forum group, which is a group of your peers that have different types of businesses where you get to share on a monthly basis what's going on and they can advise or help or you can ask for help. And so that was definitely one of the benefits. And then just being around other people that are going through the same thing. Nobody really understands the entrepreneurial journey unless they've actually gone through it themselves. So being able to talk to people that have come up against the same struggles, have had to find solutions and are able to give you some guidance to direct you to solve your problems faster than you might have otherwise, I think is fabulous. And then the other thing about the organization, which is wonderful, is they're always looking at ways to help you grow your leadership skills. And it's watching how does another person within the organization react within their business, and how can you change something that you're doing to be more effective in the way that you're operating as a leader and inside of your business.
So I'm also curious, as you've grown as a business person, along that journey, were there any kind of role models you had that you looked up to, whether they were like people like right here, or people out there like that are well-known business leaders that helped you in that journey?
Yeah, I mean, I would say there's different books that I read. So, Good to Great, I think that's Jim Collins. Daniel Pink wrote a ton of different books on how to be an effective leader within your organization and how to grow the culture within your organization. But just in EO in general, it's a global organization. So not only was I exposed to people locally in Calgary who showed me how they did things, but from people all over the world, from India to Europe to, all throughout the US. And so a lot of people who we wouldn't know per se have really helped shape me as a leader and taught me some really valuable lessons in my life.
Okay. Now, when you're looking at the company itself now, do you think you might have future growth there, or you just with the?
Oh, absolutely. And that was part of the reason why I chose this brand because it was new to Canada and there was an opportunity to expand the model. So we are just about to open our doors on the first location on July 12th here. It's up in West District, but we are also going to be expanding within the city of Calgary. And I expect to see probably 6 to 8 locations of this within the next 5 years in Calgary. So we're looking for our second and third locations currently and just hoping to get those locked in and have some studios ready for the beginning of the new year in different parts of the city so it's accessible for everybody.
Interesting, you brought the real estate stuff up. Is that a difficult thing?
It's so challenging. It really is. And I think for myself too, I probably have some post-traumatic stress disorder around it because my last business was really large. It was 7 acres, and we situated ourselves in a part of Calgary, and we thought Calgary was going to grow to us, and it never did. And so it was part of what really made that business struggle. And so for me, now, as I'm picking locations, I want to really find the right location where we're going to have enough density and the right type of clientele that will attend these locations. And they have to be the right size. You have to get the right landlord. It is very complex, and the city doesn't have a ton of spaces available. I mean, maybe in the downtown core there's a lot of vacancy. I think that's populating though, and there's not as much as there used to be, but there isn't a ton of available locations right now. There's a lot in the works and that are being built, but you kind of play a waiting game and trying to find the right location for your business.
I think that's the one thing that a lot of entrepreneurs kind of tend to forget, in the sense that they got the concept and all that stuff and the idea, but to find a somewhere where you could lay lay your foundation, it can be tough, and Calgary is not unlike any of the other major cities. It doesn't come like that, right? It takes a while to
It
find them.
does.
Yeah. Anything else you wanted to mention, Christine?
Um, Gosh, no, I mean, just other than to reinforce, if you want to try a workout, and you want to learn what FS8 is all about, we're going to be opening July 12th. You can visit our website, which is fs8.com/, West District Calgary, or just Google FS8 West District Calgary, and it's probably easier that way. The website will come up. You can purchase some 5-pack child classes to give all of our different classes a try and see what it's all about, and then give us some feedback and let us know what you think about the experience.
Okay, wonderful. Thanks so much, Christine, for joining us today.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
Okay, that was Christine Buer, who is former owner of Shakers in Calgary, and now a new venture in the fitness space called FS8. I'm Mario Toneguzzi, managing editor of Canada's Entrepreneur. Thanks for joining us today.